those things. Tunnel around, create trenches of lava all around them. It's quite messed up. Oh yeah, these things are like, if you were to take a fireworm and stand it straight up, it'd probably be like 1,000 feet tall. That's just estimated, though. But yeah, they burrow around and they create these trenches of lava, which create this unique pattern of lines that connect and make all sorts of really neat stuff. It's actually a pastime hobby these things have. And for the most part, a lot of the creatures in hell are not actually like stupid like animals on Earth. They're actually, most of them are sentient. Like the boars are actually pretty domestic. They're not actually that dangerous. It's just it just triggers a stampede, and well, there goes about 1 billion souls. Oh yeah, the giant worms, like I said, they're around the southwest region, all the deserts. There does exist water in hell, believe it or not. Water does in fact exist in hell. But it's only in one region, which is the southeast. It's where Bird's holiday home is. Yeah, southeast. It is boiling hot, but yes, it is drinkable. So here's the weird thing about it. Yes, you can poop in it. When you step into the water, you actually get third-degree burns all over your body. But when you step back out, the burns disappear. It's weird how it works. Thankfully, nothing lives in there. Okay, see, here's the thing about hell. Believe it or not, parts of hell are actually like frozen over. Yeah, there are some parts. I was gonna get to that. East hell is actually completely frozen over. It's actually so cold that not many things live out there. Only certain. It's not really cleansing, more of just you freezing upon contact. There are some special ways to avoid dying immediately. Yeah, there are some ways to avoid dying immediately once you get into hell, or that the eastern section of hell. Thankfully, not many things live out there due to the incredibly frozen conditions. I'm pretty sure the temperature, oh geez, it's probably like negative 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, not many things can live out there. Oh yeah, you do have your saber-tooths and your griffins. A couple 200-foot tall sabers and 300 to 400-foot tall griffins wandering around. It's a rough time out there. Most people only venture to Eastern Hell to study the creatures and the landscape and the topography of the area itself. It's incredibly complex, and it's incredibly unique to hell itself. Oh yeah, Satan. So here's the thing about Satan. He lives in northern hell, and like I said, the problem with northern hell is that Satan has specifically designed northern hell to be impossible to penetrate. Impossible. You got your deserts, you got your prehistoric, mushy, destroying, eating swamps, you have frozen tundras, you have all sorts of crap. But even if you get past all that, you must have special access in order to gain access to the land where Satan actually lives. Only those who wear special sunglasses are allowed into Satan's region. Only those. There has been only one person to make it. Now, let me explain something about the glass effect before I get to that. Yeah, these special sunglasses, they not only protect you from being just below feet, it's like, what is it? Like 1 million degrees Fahrenheit or something? It's something completely insane that if you stepped into it, well, I mean, no. So when, obviously you go to hell when you die, When you go to hell, you like the moment you die, you actually meet up with Satan himself, and he judges whether what area of hell you should go to. If he thinks you've done a lot of really bad stuff, he'll actually send you down to a prison that is below his castle. No, we don't sign a contract. That's actually where I believe Hitler lives, or is imprisoned. I'm pretty sure you can still hear his screams. Apparently he's in eternal damnation and torture. He's supposedly...
Isn't this supposed to be a trading server?
Yes, it is. I'm telling a story about hell right now.
We're trading stories.
Apparently Satan is, he tortures many victims down there. To be honest, Satan's actually not a bad guy. He's just ordered to do his job, make sure, keep order, make sure all the bad people go off to prison so they can make a riot in hell itself, because, that's where you spend eternity and whatnot. Bird, do you want me to talk about your holiday at home and how I met you? It's a weird story how I met Bird, actually. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to press that. My killbind and my talking sapbind are right next to each other. There we go. Okay, so how I met Bird was about 5 years or so after I had gotten to hell, and I was living in Southern Hell, which honestly, Southern Hell, believe it or not, is the region where the Nether actually exists. Part of the Nether, or just the Nether itself, actually exists in the Nether actually exists in part of the Southern Hell. Yeah, so Birdme is one of the very few people to actually find the doorway, the gate to hell itself. He found the gateway to hell itself, and he ventured there. Unfortunately, if you try this tactic, you can't actually see Satan when you get there. So there's just a random voice speaking to you. Obviously, Satan knows that you did that, but he just sends you off to Southern Hell because, you haven't really died yet. But yeah, Bird was sent to Southern Hell, and he made his way to Southeast, and then he made a little home there. And I was busy doing a job from killing a bunch of zombie pigmen in the Nether. Zombie pigmen actually provide some very rare materials in hell. There's actually like a whole economy that's going on in hell right now, believe it or not. See, once you die, you are judged. No, Nether is just a part of hell. Over in South Hell. Fool, idiot, cheese. But get back to the point. When you die and you go to hell, the amount of good acts you've done turn into the amounts of a currency that you have in hell, and the bad things you've done take that currency away. So I ended up with like a pretty fair amount. Everyone always said, there's not really been one person who's had the same amount. Some people can get 0 just because their bad deeds become equal to their good deeds. Some people get a lot because their good deeds outweigh their bad deeds, but it's not enough to go to heaven, so they just go to hell. Oh yeah, you can do jobs in hell. Yeah, there's an actual whole economy. What do you think the people in hell do? They just spend eternity trapped in some prison? No. No, that's not what you do. Well, that's what Hitler does, I'm pretty sure. But once you get to hell, you have a certain amount of currency, and you get to spend that on certain things. Now, because you're there for eternity, even if you have a small amount, It should last you a minimum of like 300 to 500 years at the very least. Which, believe me, that sounds like a long time. But I was in hell for 5 million years. 300, 500 is not a long time, trust me. We're talking about that time me and Bird went to hell. But I ended up doing a pretty fair amount of things, learning about the history, the agriculture, topography, a bunch of stuff about hell. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's not bad there. You can be reincarnated, but that requires that you spend all of your currency to do so. The problem with that, though, is that you have to make sure you do enough deeds to get into heaven. But if you don't, you go back to hell, but you don't have any currency, so you're just kind of left to rot, honestly. Which, spending eternity like that, I mean, if you stay good in hell, you just you don't escape. You live out your life there. Honestly, for hell standards, it's actually pretty nice. There's actually like no, genders are not separated whatsoever. Nah, there's no difference between or separation between genders and whatnot. Satan didn't really seem to care about that when he was coming up with the script and that stuff for hell. But anyways, one of my favorite parts about hell is actually the history behind it, because there's a lot of stuff that's been going on. Because if you really think about it, the Earth has been around for approximately the universe has been around for like 10 billion years, I'm pretty sure. If you want to visit hell properly, you should you should probably die. If you don't die and you go there while you're still alive, yeah, that's a bad idea. Oh yeah, and just like in Dragon Ball, everyone has a halo over their head in hell, just so you can tell who is dead and who isn't. No, yeah, before your soul truly rests, you go to hell to live out the rest of your days, which, because your age slows down to an incredible amount in hell, is eons. The longest someone has ever lived in hell is 5 billion years. I can't remember who that guy was. I think his name was like Birdie, do you remember that guy? He was one of the oldest people to ever live in hell. Yeah, Elon Musk. He lived in hell for about 5 billion years before he succumbed to his wounds. It was a very tragic ceremony. Satan was actually the one to give a speech for Elon. Apparently, he was really good friends with him. But there was a couple other things about hell and stuff that's very interesting. So there is an agriculture that goes on there. No, Satan doesn't actually owe anyone souls. It's the other way around, Smiley. The only person Satan owes souls is God, but we won't get into that debate. But one of the most fascinating things, I lived in hell for 5 million years, brother. I know a thing or two. But yeah, excuse me. So one of the most fascinating things about hell is that a lot of people have tried to go there, and most of them have failed. However, there have been a select few who have gone to hell, not by normal means, such as the gates, that apparently is in like South America or something. The gate to hell that is in South America that is protected by some like 300 foot tall giants. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I forgot. It's in the Pacific. It's kind of like yeah, to the very bottom of the ocean. It's kind of like the remember Pacific Rim, how kaijus would leak out from the bottom of the ocean from that crack in the bottom? That's how a lot of the mythological and ominous creatures like Godzilla or the giant squid, Loch Ness monster, actually got into our world. There was one man who managed to. There's one being in the entire history of hell who managed to not only go to hell through the, yeah, Megalodon exists, to not only go to hell, but to then find a way back out into the overworld. His name was Kermit the Frog. Kermit actually, he went down to the bottom of hell. Now, that gateway has guardians with it, but Kermit, using his incredible powers, actually defeated the guards with ease and dropped into hell. And he lived there for a couple years. He lived there for about 50 years or so, traveling around hell. Now, because hell is actually like in diameter, width, height, length is the size of the universe itself, it's quite difficult to travel around, meaning that getting to certain places is very difficult, which is why most people who go to hell usually end up staying in the place they go to. It's usually like a 10-year or 20-year trip to get to the other places. Unless you have a fast pass. If you have a fast pass like that stuff at Disney, then you can get there in like half a second. I have like, you're given about like 5. Cars and planes, those don't really exist in hell. You gotta travel everywhere by foot. To protocol of Satan. No, you don't. I mean, like, you can fly, but I mean, only if you have wings or, you know, something like that. It's weird, like, the economy and technology in hell is weird. Oh yeah, some of the things you can tame in hell. But before I get to that, I'll talk about the technology. Technology is like weird in hell. It's a mix of like medieval and like 4,000 century year old technology. Yes, I have met Alistar. I have also met Aku. Oh yeah, there is like a flesh biome, but it actually has pulsating flesh of tons of different creatures. Not just like humans. Oh yeah, organs, body parts, skeletons. Yeah, there's a lot of types of that stuff out there. Oh yeah, the Crimson Sands. Yeah, the Crimson Sands. I thought hell was just going to be like the Nether, honestly, but no, it's so much more interesting than that. The agriculture I find the most fascinating. All the farmers usually live down south. You know, agriculture is weird because usually growing a crop can take like, it's either like it can grow within like half a second or it could take like 100 years. For the crops that grow in like half a second, usually those are man-eating plants that grow to around like 100, 200 feet tall. Man-eating plants destroy entire crop fields. Man, it's a rough time. Thankfully, you can tame those plants. It does take a little bit of time, but you can the plants. And it really helps out when you have a bunch of man-eating plants trying to eat you, and you have one that's like twice your size, and it you know, just gets rid of them. Thankfully, for the plants that do not turn into man-eating monstrosities, that turn into actual food, there's quite a few types. So firstly, you have the Gorgus eggs, which come from the Gorguses, which are 500-foot tall hens, slash dragons, slash slugs, that you put in fences, and, you know, they're kind of like chickens, except the eggs are ginormous. Then you got, you know, you got your fruits and your vegetables. You got your komesames, which are like, translation is like it's like a banana, but take like, you know, a pack of bananas from a banana tree, and that's what a normal banana actually looks like in hell. And then you got your apples, your oranges, you got your knives, you got your forks. These are actual foods, by the way. No, hunger isn't necessarily an issue. If you don't eat for a long enough time, you will die. Because yeah, people just eat because it tastes good. Oh yeah, I'm so sorry. I mean, the only problem in hell really is water sources and gaining liquids for your body. Well, I mean, for those creatures that need it. For those like bearded expense, he doesn't need anything to survive. He just honestly, I don't know. He survives on stuff in swamps and stuff like that. Then you got some other stuff going on, and no, you would be surprised. Satan actually has a genuine respect for a beard of expense. I'm pretty sure they actually hang out often. Yeah, they're like best buds actually. Yeah, he's one of the few people Satan actually trusts. Yeah, they hang out and they play golf in some days, and they also eat pancakes together. So here's the thing. Satan's children are the guardians of Northern Hell. There's about dozen or so, I'd say like, well, not a dozen, maybe like 100, 200 of them. And these children are called the Crimson Creepers. And they are the guardians of the northern region. Satan has many defenses layered so that people can't easily get access into the northern region. Because believe me, if you have a pair of glasses and there's no guardians around, you can just kind of slip right into hell. Believe it or not, Satan's actually kind of lazy. He used to be super uptight about his job, super uptight. The guy was always, you know, when he started out his job, he was always, you know, super in a frenzy, always hurrying. Yeah, I mean, if you want to be technical, yes, he is. But technically, he doesn't really age. He's actually still in his complete prime. No, well, okay, here's the thing. Because when you get to hell, you're, you don't stop aging, you just age at a very slow rate. No. Satan isn't actually a fallen angel. He's just the keeper of hell. So all the people who do all the bad stuff, don't take this seriously. This is sarcasm. All the people who do bad stuff go to hell, and it's Satan's job to just discipline them and all that. Actually, doesn't like hurting people and stuff unless he feels like he needs to. Like if he feels like he needs to, he will most certainly enjoy it. Hitler is a great example. He spent about 1,000 years just torturing the guy, throwing knives at him, dipping him in lava, and a bunch of stuff. And the only way to die in hell actually is through old age, which is why the only person that has died was Elon Musk. He actually died of old age. So even if you die in hell, you are simply resurrected, and you continue to live out your days. And thankfully, there's like a spawn point. It's usually your bed where you go back to. It's like a little dream that you have, and it's like just a waking dream. But yeah, it's so neat, hell, man. Actually, some amazing stuff out there. It's more like waking up in your own house. Honestly, kind of feels like a conception. Oh, the wildlife and the plants. Oh. Gotta talk about this. Okay, so in Northeast Hell, there are many regions. No, it's not an illusion. It's actually real. It just feels like an illusion. But so these swamp areas of hell Same design to look very much like the prehistoric times back on Earth. If you ever wondered what prehistoric sea monsters and giant, dinosaurs looked like in swamps, let me just tell you, they're horrifying. Oh yeah, they have razor teeth. Some of them can breathe fire. The swamps themselves are very interesting. See, the thing about the swamps is that unlike a normal swamp, the waters below are actually the waters below are usually like 3 miles deep. As for the trees as well, and the vegetation that are usually miles and miles high, everything in hell just seems so much bigger than here on Earth. It's actually astounding. But getting back to the point, yeah, the trees in the swamps are really big, and the thing about many of the creatures there is that either you swim or you fly. There are some areas of the swamp where it's relatively shallow, about I'd say like 200, 300 feet tall areas of the swamps where some land is, and there is just some outright land where many of the land creatures reside. But most of the creatures in hell itself have some form of aquatic inheritance or flight capability. But yeah, the thing about hell that I probably should mention is that there is actually a day and nighttime cycle. It's really unique, actually. Except because things are, yeah, it's really insane, actually. Because humans are lifespans, or excuse me, so sorry. Because our aging slows down, certain physics of hell also slow down as well. Case in point, usually daytime in hell lasts around 100 years, maybe, give or take, and then nighttime lasts around another 100 years. It's very unique how the day and night cycles work. It's kind of like how, it has to do with many things in hell being slowed down. Like, everyone who goes to hell normally, their aging is slowed down. Time is like 0.000000001 seconds or something. But yeah, time is very, very slow in hell. Not necessarily that time itself is slow there, but comparing it to the real world, it's very slow. Yes, so it feels like normal time if you were to compare it to the cycle feels much slower, but it feels faster, but it's pretty slow. But see, the thing about how that is so weird is that, I'm so sorry, I'm just getting so into this, but like, the thing about hell that is so unique about it is that time is slowed down for just about everything there. Plants, animals, people, other beings, different creatures, wildlife, agriculture. Because I've said just about everything, everything takes so much time, and that has to do with hell's lifespan being greatly elongated. Oh no, life survives there. No, life survives there. Everything just has a longer lifespan. It works very similar to how the ecosystem works out here, except many things are simply miles and miles high, and there is a lot more. No, growing, when you're in hell, because creatures take a little bit of time to age, like I said, some plants can grow to the size, of about as tall as Godzilla in about half a second, and some creatures, maybe take 100 years to, or maybe even 1,000 years to live to their max height. Yeah, time feels. So here's the thing about time in hell. It feels normal when you compare it to time here, but in reality, it is much slower. So say that you know, a day. Say like you spend a day in hell. That would like you spend how about this? You spend 24 hours on the earth, and then you spend 24 hours in hell. Because of the time difference, 24 hours in hell is probably equivalent of, I'd say, like, give or take, like 50 or 60 years, and then 24 hours on earth is just one day. Time is just so much slower there, man, but it doesn't actually, you know, it doesn't feel slow, it just feels normal. And because everything there, the lifespans of everything there is greatly elongated, it feels somewhat natural in a way. But let me talk about the agriculture. Wait, I already talked about that. Oh yeah, I'm so sorry, I got off track. I was talking about the animals. So, I was talking about the swamps and how usually most areas are about, I'd say like, the swamps are usually 3 miles deep, and the trees, I'd say, range about like 3 to 4 miles in height since they gotta stick out of the water. Different types of man-eating plants and ginormous fish, snakes, ancient dinosaurs, just a bunch of stuff. Oh yeah. Yeah, the hellish snapdragons. Now here's the thing about those. Very dangerous creatures. In months, they are, if nothing, unchallenged when it comes to their domestication. Usually their nests are about, I'd say like 100, 200 feet wide in width. Oh yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm getting off track. No, they actually just reproduce normal like us. Yeah, they're plants. My bad. They're plants. Yes. Yeah, snapdragons. You know, like the Plants vs. Zombies. But yeah, they're plants, and they live around. See, this is why I have Bird to back me up. He's so good at this stuff. He has a much better memory than I do. But the snapdragons that live in the swamps are very dangerous, very territorial. Well, I mean, Bird. I mean, most normal people are barely close to like I'd say 20 feet tall. Like the average height of someone in hell is like 20 feet tall. So a snapdragon eating one of them isn't really a feat. What about a bogon? Oh yeah, a bogon. That's a good one. Bogon are these snap turtle-like fish that are constant prey for snapdragons. These snapdragons will eat the entire prey whole, and the bogon is about, I'd say, like. Yeah, exactly. Well, we are talking about hell. Hell, man. It's a great time there. But the bogon is about, I'd say, like 200, 300 feet in length. Heaven is a different story. I haven't exactly been there myself. Yeah, schools don't really teach about hell, about this stuff. It's kind of weird. Yeah, so the snapdragons, how snapdragons actually, they are rooted into the ground from birth and have to fend for themselves. However, when you domesticate them, they actually tend to move around, and they gain the ability to uproot themselves from the ground and move around with you. I actually have one back at home. Man, it's been a while since I've been there. Oh yeah, his name was Scraggly. Scraggly. Oh man, I love him. I love that little thing. I love Scraggly. He was my favorite snapdragon. I taped about, I'd say, 300, 400 of them. Out of all of them, Scraggly stood over all of them as a very rare subspecies of snapdragon. one of the largest species in existence. Standing about above 2,000 feet tall, the creature was stood far above the swamps, but very few of that subspecies existed, which is why you don't see them very often. They're often considered myth to see in the swamp section. But let's move on to something else, shall we? Let's see. How about, let's see. Yes, the forest of the southeast. Yeah, it is an endangered species. But let's move on to the southeast and the forests. So the thing about the forests is that the color of them changes year round. So usually, oh geez, they're so beautiful. So normally, in the southeast, actually, bird, it was, yeah, that's literally what it is. Oh, I'm so sorry. Southeast Hell's forests are actually a never-ending autumn, but here's the catch. The leaves themselves are not your typical reds and oranges and yellows and browns. I mean, like, the red and oranges and yellows are usually, like, during the summertime. Blue, purple, and green is all throughout the winter and fall months. Many different types of creatures live there, such as a tapak, monostag, many different creatures. Tapak is like a really, really fast, aggressive deer with horns that can penetrate through solid steel. And the monad is this giant man-eating bear. Oh yeah, I haven't even gone to one of my favorite creatures. It's called the tiger, lion, shark, polar bear. Yeah, I think I might be thinking northeast, but I want to get to my favorite creature. The tiger, lion, shark, polar bear. It's one of the most unique creatures Hell has to offer. It's the combination of a tiger and a lion, which is, well, a liger, a bear, a shark. Yeah, it's found in the southeast. A very, very aggressive creature. Has the ability to swim in water, can leap off of trees, attempts to ambush its prey. It is very, very, very unique to that area and only lives in that section of Hell. Oh yeah. Yeah, I forgot to mention, so the liger, bear, shark, is the only creature, I forgot to mention this when I talked about the water source, is the only creature to live in the only existing water source in Hell. Only thing to exist in that water. Nothing else can exist there except for this creature, simply because of its unique abilities. Because it is a liger, a bear, a polar bear, and a shark, it has some incredibly tough skin. Even some of the hardest materials in Hell, like netherrack and nethervarium and helivitrium, cannot penetrate its skin. Even though many people have attempted to use its skin and its armor for valuable resources. Yeah, charm, sold at very high prices, but because only one exists, it's almost impossible to find. Unless you manage to snack a piece off the thing, which it has health regeneration, so that doesn't really matter. But if you manage to snag a piece of its skin off, you can sell it for a very high price in currency. Yeah, Bird, I'm really pissed off about it. He beat me in a bet to it by like 1 currency. It was a very frustrating day. Honestly, I thought he cheated. He told me he was broke, but apparently he wasn't. So he kind of lied about that. It's what made me really angry. But yeah, so many things Hell has to offer and whatnot. All different landscapes. Here's a very unique part about Hell. The west side of it. So the west side is where many of the metropolitan areas exist. So many of the massive cities, skyscrapers reaching about, I'd say like 10,000 to 20,000 feet in height. And by the way, considering that Hell is like the size of the universe, it's a relatively flat area. There's not really like a space around it. Like, there's not really like some sort of atmosphere that exists above it. If you go high enough, which I believe the limit is 1 million feet in the air, you will reach a ceiling that prevents anyone from getting out of Hell. It's made of the hardest material, Hellenism, that prevents you from escaping Hell. Now, only one person has done this, and he's one of the few people to escape Hell. I think his name was One Punch Man. He actually punched a Hellenism so hard that it created a massive shockwave that shook all of Hell itself. And he managed to escape to the mortal realm. And strangely enough, that is actually where that rip in the bottom of the ocean came from. He's the one that created it. Okay. See, One Punch Man actually fought Satan. It was a 30-year-long battle between the two. Then how it happened was, I know I said Kermit was the only person. Don't worry about it. I know I said Kermit was the only person to make it to Hell and then make it back out. Saitama is the second. But he not only went to Hell and got back out, he proceeded to kill 50 of the Crimson Reapers, which are Satan's children, with relative ease, and travel to the North Hell, not be affected by the fiery flames or any animals or atmospheric ranges there, and stare Satan directly in the eyes as he wears glasses, by the way. He is the only person to do that, which is why Satan actually is pretty scared, I'm not gonna lie. And as such, Satan proceeded to try and kill him. Obviously, his attempts were flawed, as using brute strength against Saitama is about the stupidest thing you can do. But yeah, there's a lot of things to love and talk about. A lot of things. Ooh, man, I wish I could keep talking, but my voice is kind of dying on me. Yeah, this is where I'm probably gonna end it. I hope you enjoyed the story. I was continuing it from yesterday. Oh yeah, by the way, if any of you guys want to ticket to Hell, I have a gun here, and I could